And joining us now here on Locked On Buckeyes, it's the rare chance we get to have a crossover episode in the offseason. But as we know, there really is no offseason around here. It's Tyler Rowland, the host of Locked On Titans. They got not only one Buckeye over the weekend, but two. Both Nicholas Petit-Frere and Haskell Garrett will be in Nashville with the Titans. Tyler, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. And one thing that the Buckeye Nation may not know about me, I may be the host of Locked On Titans, but I am a born and raised Ohio State Buckeye. I'm from Ohio, born in Ohio, huge Buckeye fan. So, as excited as I am to get these Ohio State talented players onto the Titans, I'm even more excited to be able to chop it up with the Buckeyes best and Jay Stevens on the Locked On Buckeyes podcast. It's a bucket list moment for me.
You know, it's one thing that I love about the network is that there are so many hosts around the network that have ties to the Buckeyes or love the Buckeyes.
Mm-hmm.
Many football hosts, they want Buckeyes on their team because it's a football factory. And so I
Yep.
do like the enthusiasm and just you having that belief. I mean, you're happy to be here, happy to have Buckeyes. You got not only one, but two. Let's start with the draft pick
Yep.
first. Nicholas
Sure.
Petit-Frere. I want to say he was a day 3 pick. Don't
Day
quote me
two.
on
Day
that.
two.
Day
Pick
2.
pick 69.
Thank
Nice.
Interesting number. I'm going to leave it at
Yes.
that. Let
Yes.
everybody's minds wonder. Pick number 69. What was your thoughts when that pick went down?
Well, I thought it was a good pick, and I got to tell you, because if I'm honest with you, obviously from the Titans' perspective, the AJ Brown trade happened, and then the Titans picked Traylon Burks at 18. Traylon Burks is a great player who I was very excited with, who I thought would be a great fit for the Titans. But when you see AJ Brown, who I believe is the MVP of the Tennessee Titans football team over the last few years, when you see that guy walk out of the door, it's hard to be excited about Traylon Burks. You know what I mean? Because there's no way to separate the two from each other. And then the Titans take Roger McCreary, who's a cornerback out of Auburn, with their second pick. And if you ask a Titans fan, that's going to raise an eyebrow because the Titans didn't have a big need at cornerback. So when I saw Petit-Frere be picked at pick 69, I was like, finally, a draft pick that makes sense. So my instant reaction was great value, tackles fly off the board, and asking to get a guy who could probably start in year 2 and give spot duty in year 1, close to pick 70, that's good value. And when you look at the scheme fit that Petit-Frere is for the Titans and their offense, I got to tell you, my initial reaction was a lot of excitement, not only because I am, a big Buckeye fan from Ohio, but also because I thought Petit-Frere was a great value and a perfect fit for the Titans and the system they run. So it was probably out of the first 3 picks the Titans made, that was the pick that initially I was the most excited about.
Tyler, you said something that stuck out in my mind in that whole little segment right there. You said spot duty year 1,
Mm-hmm.
possibly start year 2. Why do you think that's a progression for him while he gets into the NFL as a rookie and then in year number 2?
Well, I think it's a combination of going off the historic, historical data,
Mhm.
not literally data, but my interpretation and what I've seen from the Titans. They don't like to play rookies early on, and if they
Okay.
do, it's going to be in spot duty, like we saw with rookie tackle Dylan Radins last year with the Titans. He barely played all year long, basically didn't play at all, and then all of a sudden, some injuries and some COVID outages happened. And now he's starting at left tackle against Nick Bosa, who Buckeyes fans will know well on Thursday Night Football in his first career start. So I think that Petit-Frere was brought in because he can provide depth and versatility across the offensive line in the event that the Titans do need him to step in and play. Titans had 91 different players on the roster last year, an NFL record. So they know that you need depth, as much depth as you possibly can. But on the other side of it, the Titans, like I said, don't play rookies very often. They are really slow to get rookies into the swing of things. So I don't expect him to be a starter day 1 because of that reluctance to play rookies. But I think his skill set, like I said, is tailor-made for the Titans system. So I do expect him to be a starter in year 2, and again, be high enough on the depth chart to where he will get some spot duty when injuries inevitably occur.
One of my favorite qualities about this young man is that he is someone that played both right tackle as a starter and
Mm-hmm.
left tackle as a starter. Not sure which side that he'll play on in Tennessee. I don't really know their depth chart and roster very well. But how do you view his versatility being a rookie, knowing that he can play one side or the other? And which side do you think that he will play in Nashville?
That's a very curious thing to ask because There is no good answer. I can't sit here and say for
Come
certain what
on, the
they'll do with
people
him.
want some
Well, hold on.
concrete information.
I'll give you this, and this is concrete for the Tennessee
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah.
He's a tackle. I really do believe that. The Titans will versatility.
Mhm.
Titans would rather have a jack of all trades than a master of one. That's just the way that they view playing football. So while there is versatility there, John Robinson, the general manager of the Tennessee Titans, talked about that versatility. And when he mentioned it, he said he's played left tackle and right tackle. Now, they asked about him kicking inside the guard, and they said, yeah, we think he'd have the ability to do that. But when they brought up his versatility, they mentioned what you just mentioned, the fact that he could play left and right. And right now, the Titans have an opening at the right tackle spot. They did not re-sign their starter from last year, David Quessenberry, because he was the worst starting right tackle in the NFL. But second-year player Dylan Radins, who was supposed to be an offensive tackle, has played the majority of his practice snaps at guard. And even when he played tackle, Dylan Radins was much more comfortable at left tackle. He is a left side player, in my opinion, whether that be guard or tackle. So to me, Petit-Frere, I think long term, should be the starting right tackle for the Tennessee Titans. I think that is his ultimate place in the lineup. But again, if the Titans decide that Dylan Radins is going to be a guard and not a tackle, then I could see Petit-Frere taking that left tackle spot long term. But if they decide Dylan Radins is a left tackle, then Petit-Frere could probably be the right tackle. But all I know is there's a vacancy at right tackle that's open for grabs, and Taylor Lewan is the starting left tackle for the Titans, and he's getting paid a lot of money. And there's a chance the Titans could get out of his contract after the year, which opens up both tackle spots long term. And when the general manager is talking about this guy being able to play both, it almost guarantees to me that he'll be a tackle at the next level.
Last thing about this young man, and it's going to go back to the rivalry in football in college. You guys got Hassan Haskins as well.
Yes, yes.
And I am here. I'm going to be here for any type of dispute, fight, back and forth during rookie minicamp, OTAs, or training camp, because Hassan Haskins is going may get on Petit-Frere. Petit-Frere might be like the young man from remember the Titans and purposefully miss a block. I am here for that kind of stuff. And so if it happens, I expect you to have a few tweets or maybe a video or just kind of explain it in your own personal way how you view that feud on the football field if it lingers into a team aspect. I know it won't happen on the field, but I like that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of curious how a Buckeye's going to feel blocking for Wolverine.
You might be onto something because it's not just Haskins and Petit-Frere. No, like we talked about, Haskell Garrett is there, but not only that, Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the team,
Yes,
obviously
yes.
super famous Buckeye, and then the left tackle we just discussed, Taylor Lewan, obviously a super famous Michigan player. So on draft day, we had Taylor Lewan tweeting Mike Vrabel saying that, he was trying to get Petit-Frere drafted because he was a Buckeye, and then also saying that he's surprised the general manager Mike Vrabel let the general manager draft a guy from Michigan. So that banter and that rivalry lives on within the Tennessee Titans, the greatest rivalry in all of sports, in my opinion, and it lives on with the Titans. And I got a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot of Ohio State, Michigan back and forth between not only the guys that we just discussed, but Lewan and Mike Vrabel as well.